My beloved child, stop right here for a moment. Do not scroll past this message. Can you give me just 1 minute of your time today? Just a little time, and I promise you will not regret staying right here with me. Heaven aligned time itself to bring your eyes to these exact words. You did not stumble across this message by accident or chance. I am stepping directly into your atmosphere right now because your heart desperately needs to hear this. Look at me right now. Pause where you are and let your racing thoughts quiet down completely. Something has been breaking your soul in secret for far too long. I know how tired you truly are. I am talking about a deep tiredness that goes far beyond your physical body. Your soul feels utterly exhausted. You have been carrying the heavy weight of so many silent battles alone. You smile for everyone around you every single day, while quietly crumbling inside your own heart. If you feel my presence touching your spirit right now, do not hide away from me. Pause and write, "I surrender ALL" in the comments as an act of agreement between your heart and mine. Let this simple sentence be the very first step of dropping what has been crushing you. Write it down right now and let your weary soul breathe. My child, I have watched you for so long. I know how hard you try to remain strong for everyone else in your life. You carry the worries of your family, your friends, and your work on your own shoulders. People look at you and they think you have everything under control. They think you are resilient and completely unshakable. But I see the hidden truth behind your brave smile. I see the heavy tightness sitting inside your chest every single morning. Before you even open your eyes, the weight of the day is already resting upon your spirit. You force yourself out of bed and you put on your mask of strength because you convince yourself that you must hold everything together alone. I saw you when you sat alone in the quiet darkness of your room. I saw you when you pressed your face into your pillow so nobody would hear your silent tears. I saw you holding your chest because the emotional pain felt too big for any human words to describe. Not a single tear you cried was lost or forgotten by me. You are my heavy-hearted warrior. You have fought so many spiritual battles that nobody else will ever know about. You have given your sincere love and your energy to people who did not know how to hold your heart. You have poured yourself out until your own well ran completely dry, and yet you keep trying to give even more. You loved people who only knew how to take, and you were left holding the empty pieces of your own spirit. You asked me why your kindness was so often met with cold disappointment. I do not blame you for loving deeply, my child, but today I am teaching you a holy discernment to guard the sacred garden inside your soul. Hear me with the deepest place of your heart right now. You were never designed to carry this massive weight alone. You were created to be my beloved child, not a solitary laborer trying to fix a broken world by yourself. When you try to hold everything in your own human hands, you end up breaking your own spirit. I know you have been asking me a painful question in the quiet hours of the night. You have been asking why the relief you prayed for seems so delayed. You wondered why doors that looked so good suddenly closed right in front of your face. You felt like I was completely silent while you were crying out for my help. You began to wonder if I forgot your name or if I turned my face away from your suffering. You asked yourself why other people received their answers while your prayers seemed to bounce off the ceiling. My child, stay right here with me because I am about to reveal the exact reason behind that silence. What you have been calling a painful delay was actually my sacred protection over your life. I was holding you back from walking into rooms that would have destroyed your spirit. I closed those doors because I saw hidden traps that your human eyes could not perceive. The silence was not abandonment, but my loving hands shielding your fragile heart. Comfort and control will always tempt you to stay where you are, but staying where you are is slowly shrinking your faith. I am warning you today because I see how carrying this burden alone is draining your light. If you keep holding on to this heavy weight, you will miss the fresh breakthrough I am placing directly on your path. You have been living in a state of constant survival mode. You worry about tomorrow before today has even finished. You run through every possible scenario in your mind, trying to figure out how to protect yourself from future pain. Your mind never truly rests, and even when your body is lying down, your soul is still running a marathon. Do you feel that subtle ache sitting right behind your chest right now as I speak these words to you? That heavy sensation is not just emotional stress. It is the accumulated weight of everything you were never meant to carry alone. It is the physical proof that your soul is crying out for rest. I am here to give you that rest right now. My beloved child, let your shoulders drop right now. Let the tension in your body release completely. You do not have to prove anything to me. You do not have to earn my love through your endless striving and gushing strength. A jewel covered in dust is still precious to the one who created it, and you are my precious masterpiece. I am stepping into your life today to carry what has been breaking your heart. Give me what has been weighing down your soul for so many years. Give me the sharp disappointments, the unanswered questions, and the lingering fear of failure. Hand over the heavy bags you have been dragging behind you everywhere you go. Lay down the unspoken expectations of others that have been crushing your soul. Lay down the guilt that tells you that you are never doing enough. I am not asking you to fight harder today. I am asking you to stop fighting in your own human strength. Let your weary spirit lean back into my eternal arms and breathe. The pain you have endured was never a sign of my anger or punishment. It was a holy shaping ground for the divine destiny I have prepared for you. The enemy targeted your mind so fiercely because he saw the immense light you carry. He tried to overwhelm you with weariness, so you would give up right before your season shifted. You were chosen to be a cycle breaker in your family. The heavy patterns of worry, lack, and silent suffering that bound those who came before you end with you. You felt like you were breaking, but in truth, you were being reshaped for a holy purpose. You are stepping out of the role of a victim and into the place of my divine peace. But the enemy does not write your final story. I do. The season of exhausting waiting that drained your hope is finally coming to its close. The heavy chains of anxiety that bound your thoughts are trembling at my divine command. You are standing right on the threshold of a massive spiritual breakthrough. Breathe deeply, my beloved child. Let your mind stop racing for just this second. Are you truly listening to my voice? Do not let the noise of the enemy steal this holy moment from you. Look at me right now. I am speaking with urgent purpose, not just making empty noise in your day. Do not let distraction pull you away from this sacred moment. Do not let the noisy world rush you past this atmosphere of peace. Stay with me for just a little longer, because right now, I need to tell you about a specific moment in the dark when you felt entirely invisible. I saw what happened in the hidden corner of your room when you thought no human eye could ever reach you. I am going to speak directly to that secret wound right now. Pause right here and let my peace wrap around your heart like a warm blanket. Let me show you what I was doing while you thought you were completely alone. Come closer to me now, my child. Let me speak gently to the part of your soul that feels most tired and broken. I saw you in those dark moments when you thought nobody was watching. I saw when you laughed with everyone around the table and quietly felt as though you were the most alone person in the entire room. You smiled, you answered their questions, and you played your part so well. Everyone believed you were happy and completely fine. But beneath your warm smile, a cold solitude was quietly eating away at your spirit. You felt as though an ocean separated your heart from the rest of the world. I saw you when you walked into the bathroom and turned on the water faucet. You let the running water cover the sound of your soft weeping, so nobody would ask if you were okay. You pressed your face into a towel and let the silent tears stream down your cheeks. You folded yourself into the smallest shape possible on the cold tile floor. You held your breath until your lungs burned because you were afraid to make a sound. In that dark room, you felt as though the entire world was moving forward while you were completely forgotten. You felt the coldness of the bathroom floor pressing against your skin while your spirit trembled. You wondered if anyone in the world would notice if you simply vanished into the silence. You felt so small, so exhausted, and so completely overwhelmed by the unrelenting pressure of life. You whispered a quiet prayer into the shadows, but your words felt empty and heavy. You asked me if I could hear you through the thick darkness. You wondered why you felt so deeply invisible to the people you loved most. My child, hear me now, with every fiber of your soul. I was not absent from that dark room. I was closer to you than the cold floor you sat upon. I saw every single tear that left your weary eyes, and I collected them all in my hands. Not one drop of your sorrow was ever wasted or overlooked by my eyes. Do you feel that heavy tightness behind your chest right now as I mention these secret moments? That is your spirit recognizing that I am truly here with you. Write "you see my tears" in the comments right now to seal this sacred moment of understanding. Let your heart acknowledge that your pain was never invisible to me. Writing those words is not just typing letters on a screen. It is an act of releasing the bitter illusion that you are alone in your suffering. When you declare that I see your tears, you invite my peace into the dark places of your past. You have been the giver for everyone around you for as long as you can remember. When others needed a shoulder to cry on, you were always there with open arms. When others were falling apart, you held yourself together so you could be their anchor. But who was there for you when your own world was crumbling into pieces? Who held your hand when your spirit was breaking under the weight of your own secret pain? Nobody asked how you were holding up, because you made strength look so completely effortless. They took your warmth, they took your energy, and they walked away without looking back. You came home with empty hands and an exhausted heart, wondering why love always felt like a one-way street. My child, I saw every single moment when you poured yourself out for others. My child, you have carried this grief like a secret burden for far too many years. You felt ashamed for feeling weak, because you thought a faithful soul should never struggle like this. You believed that feeling broken meant that your faith was somehow failing or incomplete. That lie was planted in your mind by the enemy to keep you isolated in the dark. He wanted you to believe that your exhaustion was proof of my disappointment in you. But I do not measure your worth by how well you hide your pain. I measure your worth by my eternal love for you. I am not a distant judge waiting for you to fix yourself before I draw near. I am your loving Father, and I draw nearest when your heart is most broken. A jewel covered in thick mud does not lose its value, and your soul has never lost its beauty to me. You do not have to wear that heavy armor when you come into my presence. You do not have to pretend that you are strong when you feel like collapsing. You can be vulnerable, you can be messy, and you can let your tears fall freely in my arms. I do not demand that you have everything figured out before you talk to me. I do not ask you to bring me eloquent prayers or flawless faith. All I ask for is your heart, exactly as it is right now in all its tiredness and brokenness. Think back to those long nights when you lay awake staring at the ceiling. You ran through every mistake you ever made, searching for the reason why life feels so heavy. You blamed yourself for doors that closed and relationships that crumbled into ashes. You convinced yourself that if you were smarter, stronger, or better, you would not be sitting in the dark. But hear my voice, breaking through the fog of your mind right now. You did not fail. The endings you grieved were my protective hands removing what would have destroyed you. I stood beside you when the world walked away from your wounded heart. I held your spirit when your own strength completely gave out and left you empty. Even when you had no words left to pray, your quiet groans reached my heavenly throne. You thought I was silent because I was angry or because I had abandoned your cause. But my silence was never my absence, my beloved child. I was working quietly in the unseen realm, rearranging things that you were not yet ready to see. I saw you walking through the crowded streets while feeling completely invisible inside. You walked among hundreds of people, yet your soul felt like it was stranded on a deserted island. You wondered if anyone would ever truly know you or understand the depth of your heart. Hear my promise to you in this very moment, my beloved child. You are known, you are seen, and you are cherished beyond human comprehension. The world may look at your surface, but I look at the beauty of your soul. I see your purity, I see your kindness, and I see your divine purpose. My child, I need you to hear this next truth with total clarity. The silence you experienced was not my abandonment of your life. The enemy has been filling the atmosphere around you with relentless noise. He created a static so constant that my voice and my provisions became obscured to your weary eyes. Because I see your weariness, I have guided wise minds to bring forth an instrument of restoration. I have prepared an earthly tool aligned with the natural laws I built into creation. This provision was specifically designed to clear away the mental noise and restore the quiet channel of your heart. I will show you exactly what this provision is before this message comes to a close. Do not ignore the earthly tools I place directly upon your path for your healing. I work divine miracles, but I also provide daily bread for my weary children. You have tried to heal yourself through sheer willpower, and it has left you utterly drained. You tried to force your mind into peace, while the enemy continued to blast his noise. But you cannot fight a spiritual battle of noise using empty human effort alone. Stay with me right now, because there is something crucial you must understand. You need to know why the enemy has targeted your mind with so much static lately. You need to understand why he is so terrified of you discovering the truth about your destiny. The enemy does not launch his fiercest attacks against those who pose no threat to his kingdom. He attacks you because he sees the massive spiritual light I have placed inside your soul. He knows that if you wake up from this weariness, you will shatter his strongholds. Pause right here and take a deep breath into your tired lungs. Let the tension in your shoulders melt away as you listen to my reassuring voice. Look at me right now, because we are about to step out of the shadows together. Listen very carefully to what I am about to reveal next. Why has the battle over your peace become so intense in this specific season? Let me uncover the hidden strategy of the adversary, so you can walk out of his trap forever. Before I show you the way forward, I must address the quiet doubt sitting in the dark corner of your heart. You feel tired, your thoughts are racing. The fear is real, and every single night when you lay down in the dark, you wonder if your prayers are simply hitting the ceiling and falling back down. My child, that question does not anger me, because I know how long you have been faithful in the dark. Let me speak the absolute truth over your doubts right now so your mind can finally stop spiraling in fear. My silence in those heavy seasons was never my absence or my rejection of your faithful soul. You cried out. You asked why. You felt abandoned. And yet, I was holding back certain doors because walking through them too early would have completely shattered your spirit. You thought I was sitting idly by while you were falling apart under the weight of your heavy burdens. But in truth, I was actively working in the unseen realm to rearrange things that you could not see yet. Every silent prayer you thought was lost was actually being counted and stored in my heavenly hands. Do not let the memory of the waiting season close your heart to what I am about to do. The long waiting season was your divine preparation, and that preparation is now complete. You are thinking that your situation is too far gone, and that your personal story is far too broken to be healed. You feel small, you feel forgotten, you feel broken, and you wonder if my promises were meant for everyone else, while you were left behind to suffer alone. But there has never been a wound so deep that my love could not reach down and restore it completely. You are not the forgotten exception, but you are precisely the one I came into this world to rescue. There was once a mighty servant of mine named Elijah who fought a great spiritual battle for my glory. He called down fire from heaven and saw a massive victory before the eyes of thousands of people. Yet right after that incredible moment, the enemy attacked his mind with intense exhaustion and overwhelming fear. He ran into the deep wilderness, sat under a solitary broom tree, and begged me to take his very life away. He was not a weak man, and he was not lacking in faith or spiritual devotion to my kingdom. He was simply completely empty because he had poured out every single drop of his energy for others. He felt completely alone, and he believed that he was the only faithful soul left standing in the dark. He sat in the desert heat, buried his face in his hands, and told me that he could not go on anymore. I did not scold him for his weariness, and I did not judge him for wanting to give up his fight. I did not demand that he stand up immediately and keep fighting the battle in his own human strength. Instead, I sent my holy angel to bake fresh bread for him and bring him clean water to drink. I let him sleep peacefully under the shade until his physical body and his spirit were fully refreshed. When Elijah was standing on the mountain waiting for me, a great and powerful wind tore through the rocks, but I was not in the wind. Then a violent earthquake shook the ground, but I was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a blazing fire, but I was not in the fire. After the fire came a still small voice, a gentle whisper that filled his soul with absolute peace. My child, I am speaking to you in that exact same gentle whisper in this very moment today. You have gone far enough on your own empty human strength, and you need to rest in my presence. You do not have to fight another battle today. and you do not have to prove your worth to me. Eat the bread of my peace, drink from the well of my love, and let me restore your strength. Do you see the striking similarity between your life and the story of my weary prophet in the desert? You have been fighting so hard for everyone else that you forgot how to receive my gentle care. Write "you never left me" in the comments right now as an act of surrendering your weariness. Let those words anchor your heart in the truth that I was beside you in every single desert moment. Now listen closely to what I am about to reveal about the secret design of your human mind. When I created the human brain at the beginning of time, I placed a sacred signal within its deepest center. Scientists who study the brain have spent decades researching this signal, and they call it the gamma wave. When you were a little child, this sacred frequency ran freely inside your mind without any effort or striving. It is the reason why young children learn so quickly and why they trust so purely without holding on to fear. It is why they live completely in the present moment without carrying the heavy weight of tomorrow on their shoulders. I designed the mind of a child to hum at the exact frequency of pure divine receptivity. Remember when I said that unless you turn and become like little children, you cannot enter my kingdom? I was not only speaking about your spiritual posture, but also about the physical signal I placed in your brain. As you grew older, the enemy used the noise and pressure of the world to drown out that sacred signal. He flooded your daily life with endless worries, financial stress, and constant demands from everyone around you. That constant noise created a heavy static in your mind that blocked the peaceful frequency I placed in you. You were not losing your faith, but your internal receiver was simply covered in thick spiritual static. Because I saw your deep weariness, I guided wise minds to work with sound the way I originally designed it. I directed faithful researchers over decades of study to unlock the precise sound frequencies that restore that lost signal. They developed a simple instrument, using gentle audio frequencies, that clears away the static built up in your mind. It does not require hours of complex meditation, intense mental effort, or years of difficult spiritual discipline. It requires only 7 minutes of complete surrender with your eyes closed and headphones resting on your ears. In those 7 quiet minutes, you do not have to strive or try to fix your broken life. You simply sit quietly in my presence and allow the sound instrument to clear the noise of the enemy. It returns your mind to the exact childlike state of gamma frequency that I designed for you at the beginning. You are thinking that you have tried other methods before, and that nothing ever brought lasting relief to your soul. You tried harder, you prayed longer, you felt exhausted. But what failed you before required your own intense human effort, while this provision requires only your complete surrender. I designed this tool to work not because of your human discipline, but because of my divine design placed inside you. I guided this discovery because I knew that my weary warriors in this generation would need daily bread for their minds. I do not work only through sudden supernatural miracles, but I also provide practical tools through human wisdom. Do not ignore the earthly provision I have set before you as a step of healing on your journey. I am going to show you where to find this exact provision before our time together ends today. You are standing right now at the edge of a massive shift in your spiritual journey and your daily life. The enemy wants you to remain distracted so you will walk away before receiving the breakthrough I prepared. But I am commanding you to stand firm right now and hold your ground in my peaceful presence. Do not let the rushing noise of the world steal the holy seed I am planting in your heart. Look at me right now and feel the heavy weight beginning to lift off from your weary shoulders. The long season of feeling stuck in the fog of uncertainty is officially coming to a total close. I am stripping away the authority of every negative voice that told you that your best years were behind you. What I am about to release over your life in the next few moments will redefine your entire future. Are you ready to step out of the dark cave of exhaustion and walk directly into my radiant light? Are you ready to stop carrying the heavy burdens that were never yours to carry in the first place? Open your heart completely to me right now, because the moment of your total release is finally here. Hear me now, my child. The season that has exhausted your spirit is closing right now. I am declaring over your life, in this very moment, that the heavy chain of silent suffering is broken, not gradually over years, but it is ending today in my presence. What comes behind this heavy season is not just relief, but a complete spiritual transformation that will redefine your entire future. You are free. You thought you were breaking during those dark nights. You felt shattered inside. Your tears were real. But in truth, you were being reshaped by my loving hands for a holy purpose that the world cannot understand. Every single spiritual battle you fought in silence was proof that your life carries an immense purpose. The adversary targeted your mind so relentlessly because he saw the powerful light rising inside your soul. He knew what was coming. He was afraid, and he tried to overwhelm you with weariness so you would give up right before your season shifted into victory. I call what you walked through the silent forging. You felt like you were falling behind everyone else in life. You compared your story to theirs. You felt small, but you were never behind, my beloved child, because you were simply being made ready in secret for something far greater than you can imagine. So every door that slammed shut in your face was my divine protection, not my cold rejection. Every delay that made you cry was my hands shielding your fragile spirit from traps that would have destroyed you. What you called a devastating loss was actually my way of clearing away space for an eternal harvest. Right? I receive it now in the comments right now as a powerful act of faith. Let your words echo in the unseen realm as you claim your freedom today. The waiting is over. The heavy burden is lifting off your shoulders right now. You do not have to fight this war alone anymore. Look at me right now and hear my voice with total clarity. I am stripping the authority of every negative lie that told you your story was completely ruined, and I am breaking the generational cycles of anxiety and silent misery that bound your family line for decades. The chain breaks here with you. It ends today. I am placing a new name upon your identity in this moment. You are no longer the silent survivor who must carry everything alone. You are my cycle breaker, my light bearer, and an heir to my unshakable kingdom that will never fail. Receive your freedom right now. Take a deep breath and let my peace flood every corner of your heart. Listen closely, because I want to show you how I work in your physical world. I do not work only through sudden supernatural miracles from heaven. I also work through the wisdom of human hands that I quietly guide into existence for your restoration. I have gifted humanity the knowledge to unlock the sacred restorative power that I placed within sound. Wise men and women spent decades in scientific research. They searched for truth. They studied the human mind, and without even knowing it, they were following the exact path that I had laid out for their discovery. Universities I guided confirmed the exact frequency of childlike peace that I placed inside the human brain. And I want to show you what I did for 2 of my children who received this provision before you arrived here. I want to show you what I did for one of my daughters, named Rachel. She had sought peace for years through every method imaginable, but her mind remained filled with constant anxiety. 2 weeks after receiving this sound provision, the heavy fog in her mind cleared away completely. Her home was filled with effortless joy and peace. And for others, I moved differently in their lives. I want to show you what I did for one of my sons named Michael, who was burdened by financial pressure. Heavy mental exhaustion stole his sleep every night. After 2 months with this provision, doors of unexpected breakthrough swung wide open for his family. His business flourished while his soul rested in my peace. They call this frequency instrument the Genius Song. I guided wise minds to create this soundtrack using precise, gentle audio frequencies that clear away the static. It is not a generic music track you find on public streaming platforms. It is not a complex meditation practice that requires your human striving. It requires only 7 minutes of your day with your eyes closed and headphones resting on your ears. In those 7 quiet minutes, you do not have to work or perform for me. You simply surrender the noise of the world and allow the exact gamma frequency that I placed inside your brain to return. This provision is not for those who are merely curious about spiritual things. This is for you, my weary warrior, who has been carrying a heavy heart for so long. I see your weariness. I know your story. And to my child who has already tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more, hear my words. What failed you before required your effort, but this requires only 7 minutes of complete surrender. Wise experts charge hundreds of dollars for single sessions that attempt to reach this peaceful state of mind. Earthly equipment designed for brain entrainment costs thousands of dollars in private wellness clinics. But I do not call you to expensive sessions or complex machines in this season of your life. I place this provision within your reach today for a small earthly exchange, the size of a mustard seed of investment. It is a small step for the massive harvest I have prepared for your life. And along with this sound instrument, I have aligned 4 additional gifts to bless your home and your children. Where I place truth, the adversary always attempts to place cheap imitations to deceive my children. There are false tracks circulating on public music platforms under similar names that carry none of my restoration. Protect your spirit by accessing only the verified source that I have placed for you in the pinned comment below. Walk forward without fear because you are completely covered by a steadfast 60-day guarantee. If this provision does not bring the quiet restoration and mental clarity I described, every single penny is returned. I do not ask you to risk what I gave you to receive what I prepared. Take this step of obedience today as an act of trust between your spirit and mine. Access the provision I have placed for you in the pinned comment below and in the video description. Do not let this moment pass you by, my child. I guided your spirit to this message, and I place this path directly before your eyes today. Now, my child, set aside the noise of decision for a moment and let your heart settle into complete calm. Whether you step forward now or later, you remain my beloved child. Nothing can ever change my love for you. I have shown you the provision on your path, and now I want to wrap your spirit in my peace. Close your eyes right now if you are able. Take a slow, deep breath into your soul. Feel the warmth of my divine presence wrapping around you like a heavy blanket of love. The heavy burden you carried into this message is no longer sitting upon your shoulders. You have handed it over to me, and I am holding it tightly in my hands right now. Let your mind stop searching for answers to questions that belong only to the future. I am already standing in your tomorrow. I am arranging every detail for your good and your protection. The doors that need to open will open at my divine command. No human hand will ever be able to shut them again. Rest in my presence right now as we step into your peaceful rest. Let us step together into a sanctuary of total rest right now. Picture a quiet morning 6 months from today. You wake up before your alarm even rings. For the first time in many long years, you notice that the heavy knot sitting inside your chest has completely disappeared. You take a slow breath, and the fresh air fills your lungs with pure peace. You lie there in the soft morning light, and you notice something wonderful. The constant heaviness you carried for decades is simply gone. Your very first thought of the day is not fear, anxiety, or dread. It is a quiet question asking what good thing you are created to enjoy today. You smile softly because your soul feels so calm and steady. That peaceful version of you is not a distant fantasy, my beloved child. That version of you already exists in my heavenly design right now. She is standing right here on the other side of your total surrender. And the distance between where you sit today and that quiet morning is not time, but it is simply your willingness to let me carry your life. Now picture an evening in the very near future. The house is quiet, and you are sitting alone in comfort. You are not lonely, because you finally enjoy the quiet presence of your own spirit. You think back on your day, and you realize you did not once measure your worth by how much you accomplished. You rested without guilt, and you smiled with genuine joy. You look at your loved ones, and you realize you no longer need to pretend to be strong. You do not have to wear a fake mask of perfection to be accepted by them. You are loved for who you truly are, and you no longer feel the need to prove your worth to anyone. The heavy wall of emotional isolation that kept you hidden from the world has completely melted away. You realize with a deep sense of wonder that the massive mountain you feared was moved. You did not have to climb it or push it down with your own empty strength. I moved it for you while you were resting in my arms, because what felt impossible to your human mind was handled smoothly by my divine power. So stop trying to hold the steering wheel of your life with tight, trembling knuckles. You have driven yourself into total exhaustion, trying to control outcomes that were never yours to manage. You tried to predict every future storm, and you tried to save everyone around you from pain. But you are a precious human child, not the creator of the universe. Lay down the heavy burden of trying to be your own savior today. Hand me the keys to your future, your finances, your health, and your family. I created the endless galaxies, and I set the vast oceans in their boundaries. I know how to direct your daily steps without you wearing your soul out, and I call this total release, the holy transfer. You are no longer the weary survivor who must fight every single battle alone in the dark. I am raising you up to be a living beacon of my unshakable peace in this broken world. The deep exhaustion you endured in secret has given you a tender compassion for other hurting souls. The quiet suffering you survived has forged an authentic authority inside your spirit. Think back to all those years when you felt so utterly small, forgotten, and invisible. You thought those painful seasons were completely wasted, but not a single drop of your pain was lost. I was using the dark soil of your trials to grow deep spiritual roots inside your heart, and those roots are strong enough to support the massive weight of the blessings I am releasing. Now hear me carefully, because a subtle doubt may try to whisper in your thoughts tomorrow. You might ask yourself what happens if the old anxiety tries to creep back into your heart. Hear my reassuring answer, before that lie can even take root inside your mind. If an old memory of fear knocks on your door, do not panic or feel defeated. That old feeling is merely a fading echo of your past, not your current spiritual reality. Anxiety is no longer your master, but it is just an old habit knocking on a house you no longer live in. When a shadow of worry touches your mind, place your hand gently over your chest. Take a slow breath, look up at me, and remember the words I spoke to you today. Tell your soul that you are no longer carrying that heavy weight on your own shoulders. Tell yourself that your Heavenly Father has taken the burden into His own hands forever, and then go about your day in quiet confidence, knowing that I am actively working behind the scenes. You can rest in total peace, because I never sleep and I never abandon my promises. I want to speak a prophetic blessing directly over your entire life and household in this moment. I bless your mind with a divine clarity that sweeps away every fog of confusion and doubt. I bless your body with restorative energy, gentle physical healing, and deep cellular rest. I bless your home with an atmosphere of heavenly peace that drives away all conflict. I bless your finances and your daily work with unexpected favor and open doors of provision. The financial lack and constant pressure that tried to strangle your peace is losing its grip right now. I am opening the windows of heaven over your life, and I am pouring out blessings that you will not have room enough to receive. Trust in my abundant care for you. May my peace guard your heart when you lie down to sleep in your bed tonight. May you sleep deeply and peacefully, without the intrusive thoughts that used to steal your rest. I am placing a wall of holy fire around your children and your loved ones. The adversary no longer has permission to torment your mind with fear of what tomorrow might bring. When you wake up tomorrow morning, know that I am already walking ahead of your steps. I am smoothing out the rough paths before your feet even touch the cold floor. I am preparing divine connections, unexpected kindness, and quiet provisions that will fill your heart with joy. You do not have to hustle, because my favor surrounds you like a shield. Let us seal this sacred covenant of unshakable peace together in this very moment. If you choose to trust my love and surrender your heavy heart to me today, write Amen in the comments. Write it as a firm decree that you are stepping out of fear forever. Let your words echo in heaven as a testament that you have handed your life to me. Do not keep this sanctuary of peace to yourself, my beloved child. Look around your world and think of those who are secretly breaking under their own heavy burdens. Share this message with 3 souls who are crying out for hope and comfort today. Become the very messenger of peace that you wished for when you were sitting alone in the dark. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on the notification bell. Stay connected to these daily messages of divine guidance so your spirit remains grounded and strong. The world will try to distract you with noise the moment you walk away from this video. But by staying connected to my voice, you keep your soul anchored in my truth every single day. Now take one final deep breath of my heavenly peace into your weary soul. Feel the warmth of my eternal love resting upon your head like a crown of glory. You are my chosen child, and I am watching over every detail of your life. Go forward today with a light heart and a quiet mind, because I walk with you now and forevermore.